Good evening, welcome to the FB Live Show. We're back, this is episode 3. I've got a special guest with me today. Deputy Secretary of Young 04 Association, Deputy Secretary of City Lands and Manager of City Lands, Mr. Nkong. Mr. Nkong, welcome on the show.
Crew ekhoyo apha e-studio namhlanje ndiyazibulisela ngithi molweni lonke.
All right, good evening, ladies and gents. Today we've got a comeback show. Senior results there, sir. Senior results is the FOFA semi-finals. Senior fixtures Kamaivo first leg. We've got the main and key players of the tournament. We've got the predictions, but most importantly, senior tribute show namhlanje. We're paying special tribute to e-champions for top 8, which is Young Ideas Football Club. So before we go into that aspect of the segment namhlanje, so qala results there, sir. Third and fourth playoff between the Billy Rangers and the Sexy Birds. The results going Sexy Birds 2 and the Billy Rangers 1. They lost that game. The final was between United Teenagers and Dangerous Staggies. Unfortunately, the results, the predictions, I got them wrong. I said the Dangerous Staggies is a winner, but definitely I was in for a shock. The Dangerous Staggies 2-1 by United Teenagers. And would like to extend and say congratulations to United Teenagers for doing the feat. I don't know how long it's been since the last time they win a tournament, but good to them and massive congratulations. But now we're gonna go to the results. The second leg Kafova and the final. So my predictions in that game, Mr. Ngoma, is that the semi-final between Real Chiefs and the Young Ideas can go either way. And it did go either way, good game, because the Young Ideas really did a 2-1 going into the second leg. Bafika again, they lost in the game 2-1, which means Pele Ingo 3-3 we aggregate. Kwa penalty. Just briefly on that game, because I didn't expect more last week, more not so much this week, but we managed to get the results. What's your take on the game?
Thank you. Leading up to that game, the second leg, I watched the first leg. Young Ideas played very well. Club match, Yokala player, baby winning. They played very well. There is a boy there. We use the term boy I watched him closely. He's a very, very good player, and I knew that in the second leg he was going to take the game to Real Chiefs. Then come the second leg, and it was all about the coaches, the way they prepared themselves, the way they prepared the players, the way the players were prepared themselves. Because what I know as a man is this: as a coach, you always, if you go to the second leg, what you must do is this: you do individual analysis. Yourself as a coach, what did I do right the last time? Did I pick the correct team? Did my team click? What must I do going to the second leg? The players themselves, were they disciplined? I mean, the way they play inside the field. Now I'm not talking about the discipline outside the field. And then what must I change as a coach leading to the second leg? Which means that the both coaches had a massive set and a massive homework to do, of which it prevailed in the second leg, that they did exceptionally well in terms of preparing. And by the time they figure the first match idlala, and then kuzawudlala le match Young Ideas, and bayanxiba phaya, and they were singing. They like singing also, and bayoyikisa ke ngalandlela, bayethanda yo intimidator a song. And then I could see in their midst bakukho umanyama, and then I was like, hey, kuzawusetyenzwa namhlanje. And kuzawusetyenzwa very, very, very hard, because with Manyama on the field, it defends the opposition. I relax the whole day. Manyama, we are Honda, it defends the team the whole day. So, saying that, I knew that young ideas are going to play attacking football now. And it worked, because I could see that as well as Mfana Gahangula came alive on that match, because he had somebody to complement, that is Umanyama. And Ulala, hey boy, he worked his socks off on that match, as well as this boy that I'm talking about, Serrero. As a result, I think Serrero was my man of the match, class second leg. Even though they lost, we really Chiefs, they played well. It's just that his score when I was not a true reflection of the game.
All right. Just briefly, young ideas here. Winning semi-final, second leg, 5-4 on penalties. But I'm not gonna delve too much into the analysis here before Coach Wabo Afika. The team is actually here. Apete who captain Wabo, they've got one of the defenders, the Coach Wabo corner. So as time goes by, we will assess in Labayabo, but I'm gonna go to the second leg, Moonlight versus Zabs. First leg was tight 2-2, be draw out of nowhere actually. Zabs comes back into the second leg, loses 4-0 to Moonlight. Very direct, obviously having a conversation that I had with Ukosho Moonlight about how young those boys are, and them dominating the game from the midfield, passing the ball around, having that confidence. But we'll chat about that match on a much later approach. I think third prize, Izabs again, beating Izab, Real Chiefs 2-1. I was there. There were much younger players. Bezlala, Malbong, man of the tournament, scores one of the best goals we've seen in a long time. I'm not sure if he can I'm not sure how old he actually is, but Kadambi is about him under 15. He's a young guy, Malbong, scored a marvelous goal, long range. Keeper was beaten, there's nothing you could do about that. And then we're gonna go to the final. Also at the final, I don't think we should analyze the final before he guesses it was Fig. I think we're gonna pay tribute to them. I'm gonna ask Coach Wabo a couple of questions regarding the game Yabo, the game plan, and just the shift from losing the day before or losing the game 2-1 and winning penalty, and then obviously going on to win the game 3-0. But just before we go to the play of the tournaments and the key and main players of the tournament, we're gonna go to fixtures. My for top 8. My for top 8 is back this weekend. First leg Yakala on Sunday. We've got Imabs versus Celtic. Kalango game. Second leg, first leg, second game, we've got the Teenagers going against the Pirates. Before we even delve too much onto that or even make our predictions, there's a game. Let's actually make those predictions of the game without even analyzing anything, because they play the quarterfinals. Just briefly, without even explaining, Mars vs Celtics team scorelines are predictions for the first round.
Maps versus Celtics. This first leg will belong to Celtic, because Celtic is going to win 2-0.
I mean, everyone.
Without any doubt, I'm giving that to Celtics. It's 2-0. I know the reason. We are not going to, as you said, we are not going to.
We're not going to delve too much into that. We're going to go happy studio today, but that's besides the point. Second game, Teenagers vs Pirates. I'm going to give you my predictions as soon as I'm done. Second leg, Teenagers vs Young Pirates. How's that going to go? Predictions, no explanation.
Teenagers 2-1 Pirates.
That's interesting. I think that should be a good game. There is a figure on Sunday, Gonzi ground, so everyone should make sure that they pull up. Games Kalango, 2 Mars vs Celtics. I'm gonna go 2-1 Mars first leg. Teenagers vs Young Pirates. I'm gonna go with the Young Pirates 1-0 on this game. I'm not saying I'm just predicting based on his win his Bonai over the time. But then we're going to go to the most important part now. Because for top 8 tournament, just to go back to the players, Mr. Performing. You mentioned something about the final where you felt like Serrero was one of those guys who performed very well. And for me, the final, I had 3 contenders. I think the reason why we even chose Umanyama is because of the goals and assists. That's how close it was to choosing man of the match. But for me, I think Ulala was incredible with final. He played so well. Serrero was insane. I think for me, the top 3 for Eza game, for that game for me, Manyama ended up winning the man of the match, but I think for me, Serrero and Ulala were one of the biggest contenders for him now to get the man of the match. And just a special mention on the guys that performed on the day. I think Uloch had a very good game. Uloch, for those who don't know, some of Sino Moonlight, just joined Young Ideas, played his first game actually for Young Ideas, I think on Saturday if I'm not mistaken. And then the second time he played for them was on the final day. He scored against his old club, celebrated against his old club. But it just shows about there's so many guys that are putting their hands up and saying, but I'm here, I'm willing to do the work. And yeah, another special mention also, Luabal had a very good game, Lasenda Beg. Special mention is that he's one of the players, Namini National last week on the show, but he's one of the guys who are considered one of the best players in the tournament. But I think Malbonga was head and shoulders above Wonge in terms of performance. But not only performance for him, I think consistency of Malbonga has been immense. Like for Umdu that's probably 14, 15 years old to perform on a weekly basis at the consistency that he does. Hopefully Laban Zabs and whoever is in charge of the players, Zabs, manage him well. Hopefully he gets to learn more. And hopefully he can go somewhere else. But for Umdu Ogla age to perform so consistently, I think it's amazing for him. Now from the quarterfinals all the way to the 3rd and 4th playoff. But before we go, I want us just to do the key and main players of the tournament. We're going to start with the goalkeeper of the tournament. So the Toxic and Mazika Manaki Lamanya, I think Toxic or Young Ideas is a very good goalkeeper. I think Kamala Avi, he had a very good tournament, but then never had 2 clean sheets leading up to the final. Despite that, so he goalkeeper of the tournament, he played never Moonlight. Congratulations to him. Would you like to add on to just briefly?
Yeah, there is something I want to say. Sometimes we tend to differ. You understand? As Abando, Abadukelele came and all that. I'm not taking anything away from Unaiba as a goalkeeper of the tournament. I agree, the judgment has been passed. But for me, the guy from Young Ideas was going to be the goalkeeper of the tournament because the tournament for Young Ideas. So what else?
I think just to add on it, I think FB News dropped the criteria on how to judge all these players, from a player of the tournament to a man of the match to goalkeeper of the tournament. So I think the closest person, without bias for me, that reached the criteria was Naiba in terms of the clean sheets of Benazo. He had the most clean sheets over everyone else. He reached the final. He lost to the final, unfortunately, but I think in terms of that. But before we dwell too much on that, Manyama, man of the match, a goal, an assist. As you said, he was magical. He's very quick on the ball, cuts inside, very nimbly, dribble. He's got everything. He's got everything that a winger you'd wish for. As I said, it was a very tight call. If it wasn't for a goal and assist, it could have been Ulala, could have been Serrero, could have been any of those 3 guys. With a special mention to Uloch, special mention to number 13 Wabuatata at the back. He was immense as well. So you could say that Ulibabalo also is very good at the back. So man of the match, it was a very close call. But Singatu Manyama was the man of the match, player of the match for me. And briefly, player of the tournament.
And also, I would like to say something about this Manyama guy. I will say it when we have our guests here to the coach. You know that from EE training year 2, I think this show now is about a teacher and a student, because I'm a student when it comes to EE training by clubbing. So you know what I've always been saying about Manyama, because he's been my point of reference to Atekazam. But I will say that to his coach. Okay, you can continue.
All right. Player of the tournament, Malbongwe. Nothing. I think I've said everything that I needed to say about Malbongwe. Malbongwe has been immense. Consistency, okay. Look, like he's a very young player. At the way he performs consistently, at the same, like, it's actually incredible, like how good he actually is for the age, okay. Amongst Abanda Badala, to keep on doing that on a weekly basis. Quarter final against Steelers did that. First leg he did that. Semi-final. Second leg, same thing. Third leg, fourth playoff. That I don't think we want to dwell too much on him. Hopefully, Izabs can manage the talent so well that he goes and does beyond imagination yet. He's a very good player, especially for the age. And top goal scorer. To be quite honest with you, Ungenge from Real Chiefs, out of nowhere, to be quite honest with you. I don't think, personally, I was expecting him to perform, because I know he's a good player from the Power Leads, and I mentioned last time on the show, but whoever scouted him from the Georgia's Chiefs was a very, very good eye for the talent, because it's rare on the team from one of these lower teams. Identify a player, put him in the starting lineup, scores goals. I mean, he goes for a tournament. I think Nabila Kapulu, and for him to get there and score the goals without even being known, I think a big shout out to him. Congratulations to everyone else.
Can I say something about this top goal scorer?
All right.
As you can see, our top goal scorer here got 3 goals. 3 goals, which means that in terms of goals, the tournament A is Bemba. Right. I can easily say again. I've even written this down. #Manyama Factor. If Manyama started this tournament in the quarterfinal stages, I bet sure that he would be he was going to be the top goal scorer. But I'm not saying anything. We do have our.
I think we can't work on could haves, could have. As course, we're working on what we have. And yes, he might have had a good tournament. I think we should also give credit to coaches that coached the top 8. I think the level of football that we played, technicality, it was very, very. It was much better than the league, funny enough. And it's one of the things I'm gonna chat to Coach Young Ideas right after the ad break, on how tactically they were, structure Sabo, and how they managed to win the game. There's a couple of pointers in this morning when I was there to watch the final in Gal that I would like to know from him, how he happened to prepare for that. We born in Johnny came on his own. But I feel like big congratulations to Ngenge from Real Chiefs. We didn't get his name. Uyatanda Ngenge Lutata. He was very immense. Again, to whoever made that signing from the Georgia's Chiefs, I just want to give credit to you and giving him the opportunity and being doubting. Because I feel like we were having a conversation Nati last time when we were on the show. We were saying, if you're going to have a player in Jalo, why put him on the bench knowing what he could possibly do, like he scored goals? And that's what he did with the tournament. He did that, scored goals. I mean, it's top 8, so you get about, 3 chances to get into a knockout. You'll never get like a lot of goals. But a big credit to him for that, because we're going to group stages, be knockout. Basically, yeah, big thank you. We're going to go to a quick ad break. As a spoiler, ad break, we're going to have the coach, Anele Mili from Young Ideas, Peter Serrero now in studio, and we've got one of the players, Sinatema. So please stay tuned after breaks. I've been a spoiler, paying tribute to 4-5 top 8 champions, Young Ideas. Thank you.
on.
And we back, we're paying tribute to champions for top 8. Young Ideas is here today. We're here to pay special tribute to them. On my left hand side, Speto Snetem, my left back Yabo. Saturday, he lost the game 2-1, won the game 5-4 on penalties. And then got a picture trend on Sunday. Moyo banjwe ngesandla. Do you want to elaborate on better on that?
As I said last week, umoya into engiyenzeka nani na, and I said the weather fortunately is about this week, and luckily yanhle. On the picture it's very confusing. It's very confusing because last year sahlala Easter sadlala kunetha salayitha umlilo phandle kwathiwa sithalathe ngalamlilo because we scored immediately after umlilo. Semi-finals kwakho umoya sawina sayidini yomoya. Finals our players ivale izandla sibambe into ngesandla. So basically you never know.
I mean, I don't think umvala kwesandla was in vain because ikhona esesandleni kukho trophy and whatever you guys are holding on the weekend, but that's besides the point. Kutsinetem masiqale ngawe uziva njani to be champion for top 8 and also reflection yakho on igame yakho ngqibelo.
Manithatha ithuba ndibulele mntu wam ngethuba ndinika lona. Okokuqala malithi siyavuya man because ke sisebenze nzima ukuthi masibeke le ndaba sikuyo namhlanje ukuthi sikwazi ukuvuyisa bonke abanye abantu nathi sizivuyise. Ukuya kulaa game yangomgqibelo, laa game tough. We played the final before final because siyazile ukuthi laa game ayizuba lula. I-Georgia Chiefs ine-record elihle apha kuthi losiletha previous games ebesikhe sazidlala nayo, but ke sizixelele